Good evening, everyone. I'm Jillian Gray with your JCN News for this second day of February 2018. Great having you with us. Topping news this evening, the Magistrates Court handled just over 1,700 prosecutions from the National Insurance Board. Of this number, 533 were new cases, 360 were settled cases, and the remainder are ongoing cases. This all based on numbers compiled in NIB's 2016 annual report, its latest to date. That report also noting that more than $427,000 was collected by the board's legal department under installment agreements that year. On the expenditure end, NIB's 2016 administrative bills climbed to $53 million, 12.5% higher than the levels achieved in 2015. The increase was attributed to the implementation of a new insurance administration system and work related to the enhanced registration drive for the NIB Smart Card. Temporary hires and overtime costs were needed to support these initiatives. Consequently, though, such initiatives and the retroactive payments, allowances, and benefits increased by 16.1%. Meantime, NIB is getting on board with the government's push to improve the ease of doing business, and that calls for transitioning to a new business registration process. Starting February 5th, employers and self-employed will no longer be required to visit NIB to register new businesses and obtain contribution status letters for business license renewals. NIB applications need only be submitted through online to the Department of Inland Revenue's websites. That's inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs. However, there is the need to be compliant with NIB contributions for these business licenses to be approved. Furthermore, accounts must be up to date. NIB stresses, though, that contribution payments must be made either in person at the NIB office or online through RBC. Now, a survival story for the ages. After being stranded at seas for 16 days, missing Bahamian boater Samuel Moss was found on Monday approximately 10 miles east of West Palm Beach, Florida. The survival hero and newfound social media star sharing his story earlier today on how the incident began.
Maybe 15-20 minutes into the ride, I noticed the GPS had started working. But that wasn't a problem because I had already run boats before from Nassau to the Berry Islands, and I know all of that is one chain coming back. So I said, okay, that shouldn't be a problem. But before all of that, when I stopped at the gas station, the gas gauge had been working because it took me 40 gallons of gas to get from Miami to Bimini. So I said, okay, I have about 10 gallons leave and I have 30 gallons reserve on the boat. So I just top it off because the boat is a 50-gallon boat. So as the gas gauge wire had loose also. So I had no idea about how much gas is in the boat, whether it was full to the max or not.
Enduring rough weather and surviving off snacks such as cookies and chips and a few bottles of water may seem rough, but not as scary as the encounter Moss says he had with one of ocean's fiercest predators.
Wow, what I can do? And I just noticed the big waves keeps coming. I just noticed the ripples in the water. So I was like, is that shark? So I was like, wow, just can't get any voice. So I had a screwdriver and I was like, well, you ain't gonna take me just like that. The first shark, I could drink that one. And the second one was I was both practically in the water. The boat being hard was when I got fined from Friday to Monday, so it can't sink. It couldn't flip, it can't sink any of that. The waves were hitting, coming high, all of that. I'm just there. Sunday I started praying, I was like, oh God, this is how you gotta let me go. I didn't even have a chance to make a child. You gotta take me just like this. Let me just make it home. Give me one more chance. Let me just make it home and just say, well, okay, I got another chance at life.
Finally, after nearly 3 weeks of being at sea, he explained how he came to be rescued.
Sunday morning until up to Monday when Chris was passing. So I just laying down there on the boat with my head down like this, and I just started hearing the engine in my ears. So I'm like, there's a boat passing. He came so close to me, and I just stand up and I started waving, but I slipped on the same side again. So I was like, the anchor stopped me. I started waving, and when I started waving, he looked up, and then I don't know, he started fixing something because he looked back down. And he went like a half a mile off of me before he spun around, because I noticed all of his crew members and stuff started running over and said, hey, that's a man in the water right there. So he spun around and used his boat as like as a guide to protect me from the wind, because the wind was coming in strong. And he started showing me apples and water. The first apple, I caught it. I bited it. He said, eat up. What's your name? I said, well, I Samuel Moss. I was stranded for a few days. He said, don't worry about that. Eat up.
Moss's ordeal polarized local social media as he recorded a live Facebook stream of the initial portion of his event, saying that it was his last ride. UB officials are hoping to allay the fears of students about road safety. The university, in a release, says the government has advised that a joint task force will recommend the best road safety measures to protect pedestrians, and added that they have already provided critical information that will help to inform the work of the task force. However, their challenge is motorists who speed and are distracted. This response comes just after a day after students took to the streets armed with placards to advocate for better road safety for pedestrians. SGA President Stuart Hanna gave us the recommendations that the students put to the administration.
In our description for the awareness demonstration, we really said that we need 1 of 4 things done. Either speed bumps put on either side of the crosswalk, either you put an island in the middle to stop people from overtaking, either you build a boardwalk over the road, or you cross off that section altogether and let students have that space only for university activities.
Students marched from the pedestrian crosswalk to the entrance of the university and back. The demonstration came just a week following a traffic incident where a female student was knocked down by a driver overtaking on the pedestrian. The female education major, who was taken to hospital last week, reportedly cried while watching a live stream of the awareness demonstration. Her student government senator, Chardia Brown, was on the awareness demonstration advocating for her injured student and says she would like to ensure that this never happens again. She gave this charge to motorists.
Pay attention. I know some of you are on your phones. It's a reality, especially when you're around a school zone, whether it be the university or whether it be near a public or a private school establishment. Pay attention to the roads, because pedestrians, you can always fix your car. You can't replace a life, and 2 to 1, you probably won't be able to take care of the medical bills. So be careful regardless, and I would say that to pedestrians as well.
There were 49 traffic fatalities in 2017. So far for the year, we're up to 5, with the last 2 being hit and runs. The government's invited one of the top universities in the world to assist Bahamian students with solving real-world challenges of their choosing. Local government minister Frankie Campbell announced as much during yesterday's launch of the Sustainable NASA Action Plan at the University of the Bahamas.
I urge you to take advantage of this amazing opportunity. Despite what my generation may tell you about your impatience, this can in fact serve you as you demand action and result at a faster pace than has been traditionally accepted. I implore you to be curious. I implore you to be innovative and inventive. Take advantage of the greatest resource that you have here at the University of the Bahamas, which is collective knowledge and creativity to build the modern Bahamas that you want to see.
Visiting MIT professor Dr. Colin Topper-Carew says he's excited to be partnering with UB.
One of the reasons that I am excited to be here is because I ultimately would love to contribute to the planting of seeds with your young population. So as you think about the future growth of this nation, you will have those brilliant minds that will have evolved and contribute to the empowerment of this country.
The winners of this challenge will visit MIT's Media Lab. Stay with us, there's more news after this.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.